The story just coming out that the Queen was going to be unavailable for Boris Johnson should he have attempted to wriggle out of resigning by calling a general election is quite interesting. Now, of course, on the one hand, the Labour Party was calling for a general election, but on the other hand, Mr. Johnson could easily have depended on his personal popularity at the time to have called a general election. Maybe he would have won, maybe he would have lost, but certainly he would have gone down fighting, and maybe that would have been better than the 6 weeks of indecision and navel-gazing that we had with Liz Truss, and then the presentation of Kwasi Kwarteng's enormous package. Maybe that would have been better, but it is interesting. It is interesting, I must say. Sir Graham Brady, the man who runs the 1922 committee, comes across as actually a person with a certain amount of backbone, which I must say I had started to suspect was not the case. The Cabinet Secretary, Simon Case, equally conspiring. Edward Young, the Queen's chief courtier, all stood ready to prevent Mr. Johnson trying to hang on to office by calling a general election, particularly because there was going to be a vote of confidence against Mr. Johnson should he have hung on for any longer. So I think this is a very interesting turn of events. I'm not quite sure how I would judge it. Johnson certainly apparently was dropping very strong hints on July the 6th that he was quite happy to call a general election, and that would have been a solution. And I'm sure that Nadine Dorries, when her fictionalized version of this situation is finally published to complete her literary oeuvre, no doubt it will probably be the last thing she writes before she becomes Lady Doris. Lady Doris, it sounds like a panto figure, doesn't it? Somebody that you would boo even before she appears on stage. But yes, the idea that these people would have conspired and to have engaged the Queen into this conspiracy, that the Queen is unable to come to the phone, Mr. Johnson, is interesting, if also slightly scurrilous. However you look at it, the last few months of Conservative government have been execrable.